We will tackle the rest of page two and the very end of page one and the rest of page two in class on Friday, and we'll move on to introducing what data looks like. So what you see here is a typical data set and a typical way that data sets are organized into sort of a spreadsheet. So we've seen these probably in Excel. We will see this on Friday when we do a little activity, but the idea of having our observations in the different rows, our variables across the top, and then our data itself within the actual spreadsheet. So I love exercise one because it's one that tends to challenge students. If we're going to determine the observational units and variable necessary to determine the average number of students per stats class in California, we need to think about that spreadsheet. And basically, when we talk about observational units, we're saying who or what, oops, I want a different color. Who or what are we collecting data from? I should have paused it so you didn't have to watch me write. It's too late. And then our variable, what data are we collecting? What are we asking? So again, we're thinking about our spreadsheet. Our observational units are going to be those rows. Who or what are we asking? And then what exactly are we asking as our variable? What are we going to put down this column? So I want you to take a moment, take a stab at this. We need to pause and think about it for a second, because I promise you 90% of students get this question wrong, and it's not nearly as aha, you don't have the aha moment if you don't make that mistake. So I'll tell you right now what you might have said. A lot of people tell me this is students. All right, let's say it's students, right? Let's say I went out and talked to some students. So we have student one. I'm just calling them studs because I don't like writing words. What are we asking the students? Well, what is it that we want to know at the end? We want to know what the average number of students per stats class was. So I guess I'm asking them then, here's what a lot of students tell me, average number. No, that's what we're going to calculate at the end. What are we collecting to get an average? Well, we need the number of students. And here's where things fall apart. If I ask one student from my class how many students are in our class, and they report out right now we have 40, I think 3 enrolled, I have no idea. And then you ask another student who happens to be from our class, we're going to get 43 twice, and that's silly, right? So this is where we're wrong about who we're collecting data from. If you said students, you made the most common error. Don't be upset. What we should actually be doing is collecting this data from the classes, right? How we go to different classes, and so we go to class 1, and it's stats classes if we want to be specific, and we'd ask how many people are in that room. So we got 43 in our class, but we go to a different stats class, and so in my other class there's only 34 because this 119X's are low capped, and third class, well, I've got 35 in my other stat 119X. So we could go down the list and we could put all these stats classes together, then we could calculate an average. So these are our observational units and these are our variables. So another bonus exercise that you might want to think about is how exactly would we collect data from these different stats classes? We could obviously go to every single college and grab every single stats class, but is there another way that we could do that that might be a little quicker and get us similar information? That's where we're headed later in this section.